Namaste and good morning. I want to speak to you on certain recent developments concerning the state of Jammu and Kashmir in India. As you're aware, the government of India has taken certain steps to administratively reorganize the state of Jammu and Kashmir into two union territories and also to abrogate Article 370 of the Indian Constitution. Now, over the past few weeks, we have seen a great deal of speculation, some peddling of half-truths, untruths, factually incorrect information that has emanated in the media, primarily in the United States. And the purpose of my conversation today is really to try and bring to you the facts of the matter, which are as follows. In 1947, the state of Jammu and Kashmir, the erstwhile princely state of Jammu and Kashmir, acceded to the Union of India by depositing the instrument of accession in favor of India, and as such became a part of the Union of India. The recent decision of the Government of India relating to the administrative reorganization of the state of Jammu and Kashmir is uniquely applicable to territory within India, which is the state of Jammu and Kashmir. An administrative reorganization is an internal matter within India. It has taken place several times in the past. And this is the 12th time that the Government of India is going in for an administrative reorganization. This particular process does not in any way impinge on the boundaries of the state of Jammu and Kashmir or the international line of control. And therefore, as I said, is an internal matter which does not have any impact on any other country. Now, what does this mean? What does an administrative reorganization means? It means that the erstwhile state of Jammu and Kashmir has been bifurcated into two parts and two union territories. One is the Union Territory of Jammu and Kashmir, which will have its own legislative assembly, elected legislative assembly, its own chief minister, and a Union Territory of Ladakh, which will have its own elected council. At the same time, the abrogation of Article 370 has been undertaken through due legislative process, which has involved the introduction of two bills in Parliament, which were voted upon. The bill received a two-thirds majority. This was signed by the President, became an act, and therefore went into effect. Now, the Article 370 is really an anachronistic provision in the Constitution. It was explicitly and uniquely temporary in nature. It was introduced to really smoothen the integration of Jammu and Kashmir into the Union of India in 1947. For the past 70 years, it has remained within the Constitution. It should have really been abrogated a long time ago. But it really is a question of the government taking that step with the concerned majority that is involved. And I think is something that was seen to be very much necessary in the circumstances, and I will explain why. Now, what does the measure entail? I mean, what is the difference between the earlier state of Jammu and Kashmir and the recent decision to make this into a union territory and scrap Article 370? It really means that the people of Jammu and Kashmir would have the opportunity to be provided with good governance, social justice, economic development. Many of these areas of, let's say, of proactive and positive legislation by the Parliament in India, by the Government of India, did not apply to the state of Jammu and Kashmir because of Article 370. For example, the right to employment, the right to information, the Domestic Violence Act, which was designed to protect women, did not apply to the state of Jammu and Kashmir. Women were particularly discriminated because women could not participate in grassroots panchayat level elections. Women could not inherit property if they married a non-resident of the state. While if a resident of Jammu and Kashmir was a man married a woman who was non-resident, he could inherit property. And at the same time, as I said, the Domestic Violence Act did not apply to Jammu and Kashmir, and therefore the women of Jammu and Kashmir were not protected under recent and more proactive legislation applying to women all over India. At the same time, affirmative action programs that applied to traditionally disadvantaged communities, and there are many such traditionally disadvantaged communities in Jammu and Kashmir. You have the Gujars, you have the Bakarwals, you have other communities who did not benefit from social and affirmative action programs in the state, as they did in the rest of India. But what is most important is that economic development did not reach the grassroots levels. Over a period of time, the special provisions of the Constitution under Article 370, as I said, prevented a number of positive measures that have applied to efficient delivery of socio-economic justice. The rest of the country did not apply to Jammu and Kashmir. A lot of the funds intended for development did not percolate down to grassroots levels. In the last 15 years alone, the government of India had allocated $40 billion for the development of Jammu and Kashmir, and very little of this reached the grassroots levels. In fact, that created a moribund economy, lack of employment, lack of opportunities, discouraged investments and entrepreneurship in the state, and led to a feeling of despondency among younger generations, which was taken advantage of by Pakistan through cross-border terrorism, through incitement to violence, and through means that ensured that the young and the residents of Jammu and Kashmir were kept in a cycle of some unrest and violence. And today we have the unique opportunity to address this issue. At the end of the day, the actions by the government are designed to ensure that the people and the residents of Jammu and Kashmir, particularly the younger people, who are the majority of the state, have a bright future. They can look forward to a modern, progressive Jammu and Kashmir in keeping with the economic development and the social progress and development that has been achieved in the rest of India. Now, how do we go about doing that? One of the very immediate steps that the government is taking is to fill 50,000 vacancies that have existed in the state of Jammu and Kashmir, in the Jammu and Kashmir government, that would provide employment for people in the state, the younger people in the state. There are a number of other organizations that would be recruiting proactively from Jammu and Kashmir. At the same time, a decision has been taken by the National Agricultural Federation to purchase apples from Jammu and Kashmir. They've already allocated $800 million for this purpose. This will improve the lives of 700,000 farmers, apple farmers in the state of Jammu and Kashmir. You also have an investment conference that the state of Jammu and Kashmir is organizing in October that will bring together some of the large conglomerates in India that have an interest in investing in the state. Keep in mind that the real strengths of the state have not been exploited. What are the strengths of the state? They are tourism, they are horticulture, they are the film industry, they are the handicraft industry. These are the areas that will get a boost through investments, through purchase of properties, commercial activity, and I think this will definitely spur not only economic and commercial activity, but also small and medium businesses. Now, what we're talking about and what the Prime Minister spoke about is a vision that Jammu and Kashmir will be a hub, a global hub for tourism in the next 5 years, will develop in a very rapid way, as I said, which will bring them on par with the high levels of growth experienced by the rest of India, and will give prospects to the young towards a bright future. Now, what is the situation today? I think there has been a lot of speculation also on the precautionary and preventative measures taken by the local administration to ensure that the law and order situation on the ground is secure. Now, the reason why these preventive steps were taken was to ensure that the positive steps taken by the government should not be scuttled on account of, again, incitement, on account of vested interests from across the border, ensuring that positive benefits should not go to the state, that this ray of sunshine, ray of hope for the rest of the state should not be delivered. And I think it is in order to make sure that that did not happen, that certain steps were taken. But I'm happy to tell you that a lot of these steps that were taken are being very, very rapidly dismantled. Today, you have a situation where you have 24/7 supply of water, electricity, sanitation, cooking gas at homes, LPG being delivered to homes. You have primary, middle, and senior schools that are open. Government offices are open. Traffic is normal in almost all districts of Jammu and Kashmir, barring a few. I think 91% of the Kashmir Valley has been opened up to normal traffic. It is only in 9% of the Kashmir Valley that has certain restrictions. At the same time, landlines, 26,000 landlines have been opened up in the Kashmir Valley. People can talk to their relatives, people have communication. There is no communication gap whatsoever between people in the valley and their relatives in the other parts of India and other parts of the world. Cellular telephony is opened up in a majority of districts in Jammu and Ladakh, and as well as the Kashmir Valley. There are certain areas where there are still some restrictions, but the idea is to move towards a situation where these restrictions are also removed. The flights are operating normally. Night flights are also happening. Truck and bus services are fully operational. Apple growers are exporting the apples out of the state. Horticulture is going out of the state. So essentially, we are looking at a situation that is increasingly normal. There is no communication gap. Some questions have been raised about the availability of medical services, and I want to put all such speculation to rest by saying that there is absolutely no disruption in the availability of medical services in Jammu and Kashmir. As a matter of fact, in the month of August alone, 700,000 people have visited the outpatient departments of hospitals, and 49,000 surgeries, both minor and major, have taken place in this period. There is no shortage of medicines or pharmaceuticals, and so the situation is normal. I repeat, normal, because this is an area where a lot of our friends have expressed some concern, and quite correctly so, that concern should be expressed. But what is important is that you should know the truth, and the truth is that the lives of people have not been affected in Jammu and Kashmir. And we are moving towards trying to ensure normalcy as soon as possible in view of the ground realities, keeping in consideration the ground realities. I once again reiterate that what our Prime Minister has said with regard to Article 370 is that the only thing it brought to the people of Jammu and Kashmir are secessionism, terrorism, nepotism, and corruption in a widespread manner, and these are those issues that would be addressed. We definitely believe that this is something that would offer an alternative paradigm to 70 years of some levels of unrest and last few decades of a fair amount of strife, which has been really a result of cross-border terrorism and incitement from Pakistan. This gives the opportunity for younger people to be diverted from such incitement, to go into productive areas, to look forward to a bright and productive future for a modern and progressive Jammu and Kashmir. Thank you very much.